If you're having suicidal thoughts or feelings or feel like you have no hope, please call 988. There, you can talk to someone who not only cares about your story, but cares about you. Please reach out today. Thomas P. Murphy once said, "Minutes are worth more than money. Spend them wisely." At Minutes Wisely, we take that to heart. Our mission is to decrease veteran suicide by providing life-changing experiences for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We believe that we can make a lasting impact by rekindling a sense of purpose and fostering community through sponsored tickets to sporting events. These experiences are not just about the game, they're about the moments that can change lives. A simple sporting event can boost joy and instill a sense of renewed hope and purpose for those who have served. Join us in making a difference. Become a moment maker and empower a veteran with rediscovered hope. Visit minuteswisely.com for more information and to get involved. Together, we can make every moment count.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
How's it going, man? Welcome back to another.
Dude, that aftershock shook my car, dude. That was so loud. Holy crap.
Yeah, that flyby was for Zach.
It was awesome.
Welcome back to another episode of TSP. I really don't have any announcements today other than the Detroit Tigers are headed to the ALDS. They've done something they haven't done in 11 years. They swept the Houston Astros, or the Houston Astros have made it to the ALCS for the last 7 years. And so they've been the top dog in baseball. The Detroit Tigers knocked them off. And Minutes Wisely has tickets and is going to be sending a veteran to a playoff game in Detroit, Michigan next Thursday. Pretty excited about that. We send veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members all over the place to go to sporting events. This is our first postseason game. I am super stoked about it. Not to mention, I'm super stoked about the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I got that email today.
Yes, I saw that you filled it out.
I did.
You better be ready for a road trip if your name is called.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to bring any firearms, okay?
I would hope not. So, did you have anything to add? Wait, I was going to say Vet Fest this Saturday, but
yeah, Vet Fest is.
That'll be in the past by the time this airs.
No. Vet Fest is happening on Saturday. I just lined up. We have 73 booths that I just lined out everything today. So people are obviously not going to see this, but it's going to go on Saturday from 9 to 4. And then October 13th is the Navy birthday. I have a bagpiper. I've got a color guard. I just bought 50 mini cheesecakes for each guest from a fellow Navy shipmate in Murfreesboro, Oathlow Bakery, Doug Berg. Great guy. It's going to be awesome. Katrina is going to be decorating.
Good deal.
He gave me a great deal. Yes.
Awesome.
Katrina is going to be decorating for. She bought $400 worth of stuff to make this Navy birthday awesome. So, if you're a Navy or a Marine or a Freemason, or you just love us, just come and sign up on the Eventbrite.
So, are you going to have a boats there, and every time somebody walks through the door, he's gonna whistle them in?
Actually, I'd like to talk to him about this. He ain't playing the national anthem, but he is playing some Navy stuff, so it's good.
I want a boatswain mate there and have the whistle.
Well, if Senior Chief Alan Brandt brings his whistle, then I will have Senior Chief do it.
I'm sure that would get pretty annoying after a while.
I mean, he's a senior chief. He was taught how to do that, so he probably is really good at it, right?
Yeah. But after he blows the whistle, he has to announce everybody's name and say arriving afterwards.
One MC, grab your brooms, grab your brushes. General quarters.
All right, so we got a pretty cool story today. A couple weeks ago, I was perusing around TikTok, and I found this fine young man here, Zack and a half, and he's got a great story. His son is in Marine Corps boot camp, and I won't spoil the surprise. I'm gonna let him get to it. But before we get to that, we're gonna get a little bit of Zack's story, and then we're gonna talk about his son a little bit. Zack, how you doing there, buddy?
Doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome, man.
Loving that beard, Zack.
Yeah, that's pretty
Thanks,
dope,
man. Is actually not a lot of work at all. That's why I have it.
I just shaved mine off literally like 3 days ago.
No, man. Every now and then a wild hair crosses and I'll shave my beard, but I look like a horrible, horrible baby. So I don't want to.
Well, I look like Father Time when I got mine. It's all gray and scraggly.
Those are the best ones.
Dude, hey, Fleek, I still have that picture of you and I at the courtyard here in Murfreesboro. We both look like two homeless guys with our beards. It was disgusting. It was awesome and disgusting at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Hey, so Zack, would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Sure. My name is Zack Westmoreland. I served from 2000 to 2004 at Board Camp Pendleton. And I was in Iraqi Freedom Operation Enduring Freedom. I got out in 2004 to pursue a family for the most part, became a carpenter and built a whole lot of stuff in that time. And life has taken me far and fast. So attained the rank of sergeant, and that was it. It was, I always say, I joke around, I say, me and Uncle Sam settled it like adults. I don't talk to you no more. We don't talk to me anymore. But I really don't have any hard feelings towards the Marine Corps. Absolutely loved it. It was the best thing that I could have possibly done fresh out of high school without any better leads in life. But my personal reasonings were I did not want to drag a family through a time in the Marine Corps. They didn't ask for that. I did. So I had chased my dream and I decided to go on and be a family man, and I have not ever regretted that.
Yeah, same. I'm pretty much the same way. I chased my dream, got out because I wanted to have a family. And like you said, they didn't ask for it. So the whole time I was in the service, I never had a steady girlfriend. I just, I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm here for me. These next 3 or 4 years is my time. And
right.
I knew I was going to be, I was on an aircraft carrier, so I knew I was going to be going to places like the Philippines, Australia. That wouldn't have been fair for her, and it wouldn't have been fair for me. So I wanted to be a sailor for a straight 40 years.
Well, I did not want to be a sailor, so I joined the Marine Corps, and then they put me on the USS Bella Wood, and I did it anyway. So
I was on the USS Kearsarge for the 22nd Mule, which, by the way, right. Zack, you got out of the Marine Corps when I was getting in. So I went to boot camp when you got out. So in 2004, I was 20 years ago this year, I was in boot camp.
It's hard to believe.
I know, right? It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Time flies, man. I didn't That's
awesome. I didn't have a family. I was a man whore. I was a grunt, and we did 3 deployments, and then that was it.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't want to tell you when I went in. I can double your guys' numbers. I went in 40 years ago.
Hey, Fleek, I used to make a list in college. Okay, I mean it was bad. I was horrible.
Yeah, it's all good.
Zack, continue. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's all I did in the Marines. I didn't do anything else. I was an 0481 landing support specialist. The red patch guys lifting things with helicopters was our bread and butter.
You're a red patcher. Nice. I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
The funniest thing they go ahead. About the red patch on the uniform, it's a unit insignia, and it just is a designator for when you hit the beach. But everyone always asks us, what's the red patch for? And one of the greatest joys of being a red patcher is to tell those lies. We never, ever tell you the truth. It doesn't matter what we say. You can just talk it up as a lie. We just said it was HIV platoon. That way no one would bother us. No one took our chow. No one got in front of us in line. We were the HIV positive Marines.
That's funny.
Why did you choose the Marine Corps out of the other?
In a short-term sense, it was basically a battle of recruiters. I was in a conversation with an Army recruiter and a conversation with a Marine recruiter, and essentially the best talker won. But on a deeper level, in a more a bigger sense, I knew, and I really don't mean to offend anyone that's in any other branch. I knew that if I joined any other branch, that I would always be able to look back and say, what if I had done this? But if I joined the Marines, which I believe to be top tier, then I would never have to ever look back and say I could have done more. So to me, it was the best. And personally, I didn't know when I went to boot camp, I didn't know if I was going to make it. I was not athletic. I was not outspoken. I was super shy and I was timid and I was pretty pigeonholed. I came from a small town, Nowheresville, South Carolina. And I thought, if I don't make it, that's fine, but I got to shoot as hard as I can. And the only thing that kept running through my mind, there was a fourth grade teacher named Mary White. She changed my life in fourth grade. And I knew that in order to make her proud, I had to do my absolute best. There's only 3 people that have impacted my life in that way, and that's my fourth grade teacher, my mama, and Jesus. That's the only people. They're up there in the top, and I knew that I had to make them proud, so I shot as hard as I could.
Where in South Carolina, Zach?
Myrtle Beach.
Ah, shit! I'll be there. I'll be there in February. Awesome! I love Myrtle Beach.
All right.
Hot
All
damn.
right, man. Swing down to the swamps and grab you a gator.
Well, when we were on Air Alert, that's as far as we could go was Myrtle Beach from Camp Lejeune. That's that's about 90 miles. It's an hour and a half to get back to Camp Lejeune. So yeah, that's as far as we could go was Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach is nice. I like it in the off season. During tourist season, everywhere's a little bit too crowded for me, but I enjoy it.
I would love to call you, man. My wife and I were going to stay at Harbor Lights at our Blue Green vacation property. Would love to hang out, take you out to dinner, man.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm in Northeast Arkansas now.
Oh, you're in Arkansas now. Okay.
Yeah, that's another huge miracle story how we got here. But I'm originally from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Okay. Good to go.
Did you make it back a lot?
No, we generally try to make 1 or 2 trips a year. 1 trip a year around the beginning of cold weather. We like to go and make a big seafood run and go get our own oysters and shrimp and things like that and make family visits then.
That is awesome. Hell yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Tennessee can't do shrimp and oysters.
We haven't.
Sorry, no. Not gonna find them here.
No, that's what they can't. They don't have seafood out here. We didn't make it back these past 2 years. We've been busy. Pretty busy on some things, so we didn't make it back.
Right on.
Hey, I'll be sure to send you. I'll pick up some stuff and send it to you, man. You just give me your address. When I'm there in February, I'll send you some stuff.
Oh man, a bushel of oysters. I'll pay you whatever you want.
You got it, man. I'm an oyster lover too.
Okay.
Love them. You got them. I'll get you a bushel, no problem.
We'll keep in touch. That'd be great. We'll keep in touch.
Okay, good to go.
Yeah, the funny thing is that Andrew will do that.
Yeah, that's the cool thing, man. People are more important than things. I love people. I love meeting people all over the place.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So how'd you end up in Arkansas?
Well, I don't want to take up a whole lot of time. I don't know how much time you've got allotted, but it is a bigger story. I'll give you the short of it. Hey
man, you
joined
got,
the Marine Corps.
You got 45 minutes, man. You're good.
Oh, okay. Well, I got out of the Marine Corps, and when I got out of the Marine Corps, I've been serving in church in some capacity for as long as since about 2 years in. I really got serious about my relationship with God and became obviously a leader. People look to you as a leader in the faith, and I've been serving in some capacity. everywhere I go. So I moved from San Diego, California, from a big church there to go to a church in 29 Palms, California. Ironically, as a Marine,
Oh,
I swore
Jesus.
I would never, ever, ever go back to 29 Palms. And
I've
the
been
Lord has a
twice.
sense of humor.
I
He
hate that
said, we will
place.
put you there. Yeah, me
I
too.
hate
People
that
ask why
place.
we train there. I said, because that's the temperature at which Marines boil, you know? So we got back to 29 Palms. I helped my wife's pastor out for a few years. The opportunity that was there wasn't there, so we moved after that. But during my time in 29 Palms, I met a young lieutenant that came through the church. I was not on the base or serving in the military at all. I was just serving in church. But he came through the church. He liked my preaching. Things went well. And then he told me that he was a lieutenant. And instead of shrinking away as enlisted generally do to officers, I did not care. He was in my house, essentially, you know. I go, cool, man, and just shook his hand like a regular old guy. And he was really impressed with that. So he liked the fact that I had a little backbone. And so we became good friends. After a while, he asked me if I would remodel a house for him while he got deployed. This is an important note. He asked me to do 4 or 5 month work while he was deployed. And so I stayed in the house rent free and remodeled the house for him. When he came back, everything was fine. He moved back into the house and we moved on and we went back to South Carolina. Um, we stayed in South Carolina for a long time, for a number of years, and I remodeled houses 6 or 7 years. And we remodeled houses, and I remodeled a lot of houses. That story of me remodeling that house in 29 Palms takes a little pause right there, and it'll come up again. So then I go to South Carolina. I remodel about, I don't know, a lot of houses, but I get in with this one guy, really nice guy, smart guy, good with his money, a business mind. And I remodel 10 or 11 houses for him. And little by little, he starts to fall behind on paying me the bonuses that we had agreed. And then, you know, along and along, falls behind on paying the wages that we had agreed. And I was too nice to quit on him because I didn't think he had any ill intent. One day it all blew up. We had a falling out. Nobody got hurt. We just handled it diplomatically, but I absolutely could not work another day for free. And so we moved on, and I kept calling about money. And one day I called him and I said, hey, look, I need the money. Bottom line, I need money. He owed me about $20,000. And he said, I'll pay you whenever I get it. He had never agreed not to pay it. And I said, you know, I'm tired of talking about it. I think you bit me. You're a snake. And he got so hurt by me calling him that he was furious at me. He was absolutely livid. So during this time, I had no money. It was the worst financial spot I had ever been in. I went to do repairs on a home in exchange for rent. We didn't have a toilet. We didn't have a refrigerator. We didn't have a stove. We didn't have AC. There was no carpet on the floors. The ceiling was falling in. And this is the first time I've ever said this publicly because I'm absolutely embarrassed at the conditions we were living in. The septic tank was open in the back. It was the worst poverty I'd lived in. And I came from poverty. My mom, we picked up Coke bottles on the side of the road just to buy fishing line just to catch dinner. Plenty of times we've done that. And I didn't mind that. That was good memories. But this was me dragging my wife and 3 kids through some terrible conditions. And so once I was living in those conditions, and I had a real big falling out with the gentleman that owed me the money. And he called me back a few days later. I knew how mad he was at me, but he called me back a few days later and he said, hey, my money wasn't right and I took it out on you. So I would like to pay you everything I owe you if you can drive from Jacksonville, North Carolina, outside of Camp Lejeune. Swore I'd never go back there too, right? But here I was remodeling houses in Jacksonville. He said, if you can drive to Myrtle Beach tonight, right now, at 10 o'clock at night, I'll pay you everything I owe you. And I probably would have done it because I was so broke and so hurting for money that I would have done it, except I didn't have gas money to go. But I also had too much pride to say, nah, man, I don't even got gas money to go pick up money. I was too proud. And so I just leaned on anger and I said, no, dude, you can call Tokyo without a delay in the line. You can find a way to send me money. Don't bother me until you're ready to pay me. And at that, I hung up the phone. 2 days later, I'm like, dude, that was stupid. I need that money bad, in a bad, bad way. I'd calmed down. So I started calling around and trying to find him. And what I found out was the night that he asked me to come pick up money, he shot himself that night. He was trying to get me to go to Myrtle Beach to shoot me as well. So
Oh, shit.
I absolutely dodged a bullet. So here I am. I sent a message to his widow at that time, days after the incident, and I told her I lied a little bit. I said that he tried to make everything right before he passed, and it was my attempt to let her know that I would never try to collect. And so I left it at that. I can't collect from a widow. I've got to take my zeros.
Right.
So now my situation is that's an absolutely closed door. I have no money. I have no job. I'm doing a day by day job, anything I can do. And I'm able to put one meal on the table a day, and we eat out of a cooler. We make one meal and we eat the leftovers the best we can. And that's all I'm able to do. And I keep going to church. I put my shirt and tie on, and I don't tell anybody I'm hurting because my struggles are not your struggles, and I just bear it. And I go to church smiling. The pastor asked me one day, he said, "What's wrong? You seem down." I said, "All I want in the whole world's a job, Pastor." And so he gave me a little work, gave me a job there at the church, and I worked for a little while. During this time, the gentleman that I remodeled the house from 29 Palms just happened to pass through a church in Jacksonville, North Carolina, 10 years later on a Wednesday night. And he seen me there and he said, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "What are you doing here?" "I'm just surviving, man." And so he asked me what I was doing for work. I told him construction, and he could see the defeat and the hurt in my face. I didn't tell him my business. I just told him I was doing construction. And he said, "Oh, well, I'm doing chickens." And I was like, what do you mean by that?" He said, "I run a chicken farm, have about 100,000 chickens in barns." And I said, "Okay." I said, "How do I get into that?" He said, "First, you go to work on someone's farm, and then you offer to buy it." I said, "That sounds pretty good, man. Are you hiring?" And he said, "No, I'm not. My kids run the farm." I said, "Okay, I understand." So about 2 or 3 weeks later, he called me, or his wife rather texted me. And my financial situation was still declining. I was not getting any better. So this is the first time since I got out of the Marine Corps that my phone was turned off. This was the lowest I'd ever hit. The phone and the internet are the last things to go. And so my phone had gotten turned off the day before, and I had sent a text out letting her know that he could contact me. He had gotten deployed to Belize. And in that deployment, he had left people behind to run the farm, and they were making a mess of it. So the question that was brought to me is, "Will you come run my farm for 5 months while I'm deployed?" And I said, "Man, I don't know anything about chicken farming." So I said, "Call me tomorrow and I will make it a point. Call me around lunch my time." So around lunch my time, I made sure I was at the Home Depot hooked into their Wi-Fi so I could receive a call. This is how poor I was at the time. So I'm at Home Depot. I received the call. We talk about it. And he says I told him I didn't know because I don't know anything about chicken farming. I talk about poultry farming. It's mass production warehouse. He said these magic words. There's a couple things you can say to a Marine to get him to do something. You can say "no balls" and he'll probably do it. Or you can say, "Will you please help me?" And he said, "Zach, I need you to come save my butt." And at the point you say to a Marine, "Come save my butt," I'm already on the way. I finished up a job I was doing. I borrowed a little bit of money against my first paycheck, and I drove out to Arkansas. He reimbursed me, and we lived in a mobile home, myself and my son. That's why if you see down here, Zack and a half, I don't know how to point to it.
Yeah.
Either way. Right there. Right down there.
I'm Zack. The other Zack is the half. So we named our farm Zack and a Half. I go to work on his farm for a while. We do well enough that my name gets around. I get frustrated because I'm not making enough money. And I say, I'm going to ask him for a raise. And just as I was talking about my faith a little bit, there's only been a few times that God has talked to me clearly. And this time he very clearly told me, everything but an audible voice. He said, "You better not." And I said, "Man." So looked up to heaven with tears in my eyes. And I said, "Can I ask you for a raise?" And God said, "You can ask me for anything you want." And so I said, "Can I have a raise?" And then I heard nothing, dead silence. So I was like, I blew it. Within a few days, that gentleman that I was running his farm came back to bury his father-in-law on bereavement leave. He found me working his farm, and he said, "Hey, I need to give you a raise." And at that point, it was a signature on the whole thing. It was just some confirmation, So it was some confirmation that everything worked out. And then the neighbor had a farm that was larger than that one. And he came and he said, hey, would you be interested in working my farm? I said, yeah, man, I would, except I need an end game. And he's like, what do you propose? I said, I don't know. I just need to know that it's not a dead end. He said, I'll sell you the farm. Mind you, I am flat broke. I got no money, none. The farm was only valued at 2.6 million. So, I mean, it was just a little spit in the bucket. Said, okay, I'll sell you the farm. I said, fine, I'll buy it. So I went on Google Documents and I drafted up an offer and acceptance, and I went over to institutions and tried to get funding for it, and I couldn't get any funding for it. So this is the great miracle in it, is the first person that I'd worked on their farm, the guy from 29 Palm, he called me from Belize and said, my chickens are bigger than they've ever been. How did you do that? And I said, I don't know. He said, I know you're going to have a hard time buying that farm. I want to help you. Let me put some houses in your name so your net worth is high enough to leverage. I said, man, you won't make any money on that. He said, I don't want any money. You did right to me. I got to do right to you. And I said, I appreciate that. Let me find a way you can make money. So what I proposed to him was he bought the farm outright, leveraged his first farm to buy the second farm. And then in 1 or 2 years, I would buy the second farm from him for the same price. Well, as soon as he closed on it, COVID hit it and the price skyrocketed. I was locked in at a lower price. During COVID, property values jumped up. And whenever we closed on the farm, it was worth $3 million and we bought it for 2.4. So I had $600,000 in equity, and I got into a multi-million-dollar farm with no money down on a handshake because I did right to another Marine. He made enough money on that deal by paying down the original loan that he turned it into apartments. He took that money and flipped it into apartments. And he told me, he said, hey, I don't want my farm anymore. Do you want to buy the second farm? I said, yeah, man, I'll buy the second farm. Let's do it. So from a terrible situation, we now sit on right at 200 acres. We run 14 chicken houses, which has about 250,000 chickens 5 times a year. We run over 1 million chickens every year through this farm. And it's a good life. My kids live good lives now, and it's a great big miracle. That's how I got to Eastern Arkansas. I accidentally bought a chicken farm.
I was just saying, well, Zach, that's really cool because in my leadership Rutherford, I just learned about agriculture. I went to Lane Agri Community Center yesterday. I went to Nissan, and I went to the Nissan factory, and I went to the co-op in Smyrna, which they make all of the seed and feed for all of the livestock here in town, like pigs, sheep, chickens, polar bears, like whatever. They do it. It's awesome. And I know that you being a farmer, I've never been a farmer, but being a farmer, that's fucking tough, man. Hats off to you. That's awesome.
Well, it seems tough, but being a carpenter is harder. It's not the hardest job. If you can read and write and you can fix electrical, plumbing, and mechanical problems, you could be a chicken farmer. It's just a matter of having daily chores. There's just work to do every day. And I'll be honest, one of the hardest parts about Zach being in boot camp is he is a great worker. He runs a big portion of the farm. He and my 2 daughters essentially run the whole farm. So it's not terrible work. It's the job that gives me the most disposable time and the most disposable income that I've ever had out of any job.
Hey, Zach, oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
No,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what do you do with the chickens? You sell them to like...
Our company that we work with is Pico. They're called an integrator.
Tyson.
Because all we do is raise the chickens. Yeah, it's something like Tyson. We're the 8th largest integrator. They are the 8th largest integrator in the U.S., and they're out of Mississippi somewhere or Alabama. But it's Pico. It's contract growing. So basically, we don't own the chickens. We just have a place for the chickens to grow. We keep them for 60 days, and they turn into 10-pound chickens in 60 days.
Wow.
Nice.
I had no idea.
Hey, Zach, I got a military question for you. One.
Okay.
What battalion did you graduate from, and what battalion is your son in right now? I
am a 1st battalion. 1st battalion. I know. And he's in 3rd Battalion. And as soon as he told me that, I thought, great, he'll never shut up about it.
You know, those guys got new barracks. They don't live in the swamp anymore.
3rd Battalion got new barracks?
Yeah, that's right on. That's right in the center now. It's not back in the swamp where you couldn't hear screams.
Oh, great. Now they don't have any more bragging rights. Maybe they'll shut up.
When does he graduate?
October 25th.
Oh, right on the corner.
I'll be there. Hey, I'll be there. I promise to be there. I haven't
Really?
gone to Paris Island this year yet. Oh yeah.
Man, we would absolutely love that.
You see this? This gets me onto Paris Island. This gets me onto every single base in the country. I am coming
That's
to his
awesome.
graduation.
That's awesome, man. We really look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be great.
Dude, we will go get oysters, and I'll take you to dinner at the Crab Shack. I'll take all y'all to dinner down in Savannah.
Brother,
I promise.
you said
I swear.
oysters. I'm going to be there now for sure, too.
Man, all their food is steamed. It's a Crab Shack on Tybee Island. It's probably about 35 minutes south of Paris Island, but it is the best food in the Low Country. I swear to God.
Merle's Inlet. That's where I always go to get my oysters. We're
That's right.
we're a Merle's Inlet family.
That's awesome.
Well, that's
Yes,
great, man.
I will be there.
That's awesome. I'll let him know. I'll send him a letter
please.
tonight.
Can you I actually, it's funny. Fleek and I we're VFW members, and one of our members, his son just graduated from San Diego 2 weeks ago.
Oh, great.
And he was a Navy SEAL, and his son just graduated Gulf Company 2 weeks ago in San Diego. So now his son is in the fleet, and your son is about to be in the fleet. How much time has he got left?
Well, he has MCT, and then he'll have 2 months and some change of school. He's going to be a cook.
Oh, good. We love the cooks. I love
cooks.
Yeah.
But no country captain chicken. Nope, not for this guy. Not anymore.
Well, here's the cool thing to tell you a little bit about little Zach. He doesn't need. We have a business that we run, and he doesn't need a job or a career. He wants to be a Marine. If they had a boot camp only option, he would have taken it. He just wants to be a Marine. That was his only driving force. Now, when it came down to jobs, he simply did not want to be an electronics technician. He didn't want to be a phone repairman. He didn't want to be a computer guy. So he said, "I'll take cook." And so he didn't care what he did. He didn't care.
That's good. That's great,
Yeah,
man.
awesome.
That's awesome.
He just had to have that title. He would not sleep until he had it.
It's a great title to have. I will tell you.
Yeah. It's the first good thing I ever did.
But Navy is steeped in history, and I mean, you were on a ship, I was on a ship, Fleek was on a ship. I have so much more respect for the Navy when I was on the ship for 7 months. I love the Navy guys. That's why I'm throwing the birthday for them, because I love the Navy. I do. I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Any animosity I have towards any other branch is simply playful. I love every branch for what they are. I'm a little undecided about Space Force. The verdict's still out on them. Everywhere else, I love them because we're all in the fight together. But you know, the inter service rivalry is just fun. That's all it is.
Yeah,
it is, and sometimes it gets a little annoying. But yes, it is fun. But
that's fun too.
The whole crayon thing, I'm not really a big fan of it.
You know, that was new. That was not a thing when I went in. I didn't hear about crayons until the very end. Until the end of my time in the Marine Corps, the very last year, the crayon eater thing came out, and that's been like the main go-to now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So he would know. Okay, he would know more than me because I heard about I didn't hear about crayons until 2006. You heard about it. Like I was in boot camp in 2004. You were getting out, and you were in California getting out, right?
Yes.
And that's when so the crayon thing must have started in California. God.
Well, I just heard about it a couple of times. I didn't hear anything special about it, and then we were chatting with some of my Marine buddies from back in the day on a message room. And they're like, when did this crayon thing come out? You know, that's new.
Nice.
Nobody's familiar with it. It's a new Marine thing. It's probably like
It's
stress
a new.
cards.
It's a boot thing. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it's a boot thing.
And by the way, I'm a boot to you, and I'm a boot to
Only
Fleet. So
barely.
I am the Buddhist of the boot on this show tonight. Again.
Cool.
Hey, Zach, are you a shellback?
No, I did not do.
Oh, shit.
No, I didn't do the shellback certificate. Unfortunately, I was under some, might I say, unique leadership, and I wasn't about to volunteer for them to haze me. We would have been fighting. I was out. I wasn't in a real happy state of mind at that time. I wasn't hostile or anything, but I was definitely over it. You know, and I wasn't going to submit to certain people hazing me. It was just going to be uncomfortable.
Hey, did you now you started in 2000,
Yes.
got out in 2004. So you had two different types of utilities. You had the Woodlands and you had the Marpat. Is that
I did.
correct?
I was one of the first in line for the Marpat because I do not like ironing camis. I think it's stupid.
Holy wow, dude, that is awesome. Oh my
Dude,
God.
I'm one of the last people to have shined my spit shined my jungle boots.
Dude, never shined a boot in my life.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
You are like, that's history, man. That's
Salt
history.
dog, man. Yeah.
Hey, can we talk about your son now and how you're can we talk about your son now and how you're fucking with him?
Yeah. It's sort of a military tradition. If you have someone that you really care about that goes into the military, you just send them a little bit of something while they're in there. If you know they can't have cookies, that's exactly what you send them. Some people send adult toys. Some people send, nudie mags or whatever. Just anything that's going to bring attention to him. There's two ways to get through boot camp and do well. One is to be the guide, the high shooter, the honor platoon man, to be the top dog. And the other way is to be invisible. To just exist and never, ever even be caught breathing out of line. And so my son wrote a letter to his mom from boot camp. Me too. They did not know my name on the parade bus when they gave me that anchor. He wrote a letter to his mom just a couple days before I sent the package out. And it says, "Mom, I'm doing great. I don't even think they know my name." And I thought, I know, we can help. So I've been telling him for years, he's wanted to be a Marine since he was just a little tiny guy. If you'll look on the TikTok, there's a video on there of him with his little nerdy baby face saying, "I want to be a Marine." And he absolutely did. So I told him years ago, I said, as soon as you get there, I'm sending you a package and it's up to you what you open. That's on you, dude. And so I did. And the letter to the drill instructor was the only sketchy part about it. The only part I shouldn't have done, but it had glitter in it, and that was the whole idea. I just wanted to mess with him. I wanted to make his life hard. That's all. I waited intentionally until he got past the point of discouragement. There's no way this boy's quitting. He even told me before, he said, "Dad, what are you going to do if I get halfway through boot camp and just quit?" I said, "I'll just give your inheritance to your sisters. I don't really care."
Yeah, damn straight.
You're out, dude. No, he would never quit. That's not in him. So I sent him something to mess with him. And then to double down on it, I posted a video for one day and gave everybody access to his address. So he's probably got 10,000 pieces of mail that the drill instructors have to carry. They probably hate him. They're probably torturing him every day. And I cannot tell you how awesome of a kid he is. And I cannot honestly tell you how much I love this boy. He's a good dude. And it still thrills my heart to make his life hard.
That's awesome.
People say, "What did he do to deserve it?" I said, "Nothing at all, man. He's a great kid. He's respectful. He's a hard worker. He pretty much had it coming."
That's awesome. Well,
God bless him, man.
When I post this podcast, I'll put the links to your TikTok in the description also. So
that'll be a lot of fun. Veterans will get a kick out of that.
Yes.
And Zach, by the way, since I am coming to his graduation, I will be in full dress uniform for his graduation because I am now 200 pounds and I can fit into anything now.
That's awesome. Great. Hey, interesting thought. Whenever he left for boot camp, our family sort of imploded on itself. We were not prepared for how much we would miss him. And so we started doing things to fill the void. And our family has been in the gym 6 days a week since he left. We're doing jujitsu 2 nights a week, and we're doing cardio and muscle training groups. And so whenever he sees us, he's going to be as surprised as when we see him. He's not going to, we've all changed. We've dropped inches, we've dropped pounds, we've dropped, we just look a lot better. Yeah.
What belt are you in jiu-jitsu?
I am below a white belt. I'm a training dummy.
Okay.
No, I'm probably really close approaching blue belt. I'm just we've only been doing it for about a year and a half. And my goal, you never ask for a belt, but my goal is to work real hard and pin that blue belt on before we pick Zachy up, because that's just one more thing to rub in his face. He was doing jujitsu with me before he left.
You can do it. I know you can, Marine.
I'm going to keep on going. I'm not quite a blue belt, but I'm a nasty white belt. I'm getting there.
Hey, if you ever want to sprawl, go ahead. I'm a white belt with a black stripe. I can't do an omoplata, but I can definitely do a triangle, and we can get on the mat, man.
Let's make that a thing. Oysters and jiu-jitsu. I don't think I've ever had a better day.
Dude, I'm putting that in my calendar right now. Oysters and jiu-jitsu.
I'm in. We were actually just today, my daughters have jumped in jiu-jitsu with us, and we're looking for gyms around Paris Island area that have open mat days on the days we're going to be there, and we're going to jump in.
I'll do some research. I'll do some research. Great. I know I still have some people down there because I lived in Savannah for 17 years, and Bluffton, Beaufort. That's like I used to go there for fun. Like
that's where I was remodeling houses in Charleston.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I will research jiu-jitsu gyms.
Yeah. Zachy's probably going to give me my first lesson in jiu-jitsu as soon as he sees me on the parade deck. That's all I put him through.
Yeah.
Now, he has he's probably getting he's doing something called McMap. Now, did you do McMap?
I did. They were just now instituting McMap. It was a relatively new program. We brought a McMap instructor on ship with us for our deployment, so everyone got bumped on up to green belt, and we got some training in. What I have learned about McMap compared to straight up jiu-jitsu is that it's a little inadequate. It's a very well-rounded baseline, but when you jump in with a practitioner of jiu-jitsu, you don't stand a chance.
No, not at all.
Yeah, McMap is ill-equipped to deal with someone that is good at twisting you.
Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Marine Corps.
Right. Basic warrior stance.
That's training with basic warrior stance.
Yeah.
No offense to McMap and the people that brought it up. I am a tan belt ninja, and I am proud of that.
Good.
Wow. A lot of motorcycles in that. A lot of motorcycles on the square right now.
I was going to say, you all right there? You getting
jumped? I don't know. I'm a little freaked out, man. I didn't bring my gun.
You don't need your gun. You got jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah, you got a white belt and a tan belt.
Hey, but I do have a black belt in Taekwondo, so.
Oh, right. Good deal.
But Taekwondo and jiu-jitsu, that's totally different fighting.
Yeah, they are. Worlds apart.
Because, 90% of the time, where does the fight end up?
On the ground.
On the ground, and that means jiu-jitsu guys can go to town on you.
Yep. The only people I know that could really, really hurt you without ever hitting you, they just twist things wrong. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Oof. Okay, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun trip. I can't wait. This is going to be awesome.
I'm pretty excited myself.
I bet. So, are you ready? Should we ask him the question now?
Do you want me to do it? I've got it. I've got the questions right here. I found it.
Yeah, go right ahead, man.
I'm ready.
Zach, we ask these questions to every single person that we've interviewed.
Okay.
And so pick a number between 1 and 10.
Okay.
And tell me your number. What number do you pick?
6.
Yes. All right, good. Because most of our guests pick 7, and we've done 7 like the past 5 interviews. So this
99%.
I usually pick 7.
Yeah, well, thank God you did. All right, question number 6. How did you stay motivated and resilient during the toughest times in your service?
You know, I have to be honest. There were times I didn't, times that you just let your guard down, but you always come around and you have to pull yourself out of it. It's not sustainable to think that you're always going to be a motivated person. There are times where you're going through it, but the times where you come out of it, you have to find something both within yourself and without of yourself. Outside of myself, I know that people are watching me. When you get up a rank or two, it's younger people that are watching you, and you don't want to embarrass yourself and you don't want to lead them astray. Inside yourself, it's simply a matter of, I know who I am, and more importantly, I know who I'm not. I am not a slouch. I'm not lazy. I'm not a loser. I'm not stupid. All these things that I'm not. And by falling down on the job and staying down, I'm proving that I am. So just a matter of knowing what I'm not.
Wow. Dude, hey, Fleek, that's a quote for your next cookbook, man. Seriously,
Yeah.
that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'd be honored knowing what you're not.
Yeah, know what you're not.
That's amazing.
All
Wow.
right,
Well,
man.
thank you.
I got another quote I'll share with you, and maybe you could use
Yeah.
it. I'm going to put it on Squad Life has reached out to make some Family Day shirts for us, and we appreciate that so much. But we're putting a personalized family quote at the bottom on each shirt, something that we've all said to Zachy or Bubbaloo or whatever we're calling him these days, boot camp boy. And what I've been telling him for a long, long time is this quote. There's pancakes in the morning. I knew when I went through boot camp, it didn't matter how hard the training day was or how close to death I came. I knew that when I laid down, I would get up in the morning and there would be pancakes in the morning. They're not the best pancakes and you don't get syrup, but there's always pancakes in the morning. So it doesn't matter how hard your day gets or how hard life gets, there's always pancakes in the morning.
Amen. Yes. And this, yes. Hey, Paris Island, you need syrup for the pancakes, okay?
Yeah.
Please. Wow, that was a good one, too.
Yep, there's
Yeah.
pancakes in the
Always
morning. So when life
pancakes.
kicks you down, it'll get better. There's pancakes in the morning.
Man,
Hell yeah. I love pancakes
God
too.
bless you.
The buttermilk
Was it-
pancakes, man. All right, you
Zach,
guys got anything else before I hit the
No,
end record
Zach,
button?
hey, Zach, thank you so much, man. This was awesome.
Our pleasure, man. It's a real pleasure. I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, I'll see you October 25th.
And Mr. Richard, you're not very far away. If you need anything, we're not too far away, just
Yeah.
a state away. This world's not as big as I used to think. You let us know. We'd love to meet up sometime, anytime.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
love
you're
to,
like,
man.
what, 3.5 hours away? 4?
Maybe. I don't know.
Where in Arkansas are you at?
Northeast.
Northeast. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
Oh, yes, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, we're outside of Memphis, about an
I
hour
was gonna
outside.
say, how far are you from Memphis? So you're only probably like 3 hours away.
Yeah. Yep. We're
Yeah,
about,
just don't-
what are we, an hour and a half away from Memphis? About 2 hours from
Okay.
Memphis.
So 2 hours from Memphis. So yeah.
Just drive
Just go,
around
just go over
Yeah,
that
we
bridge.
Memphis. Yeah, don't stop at the Bass Pro Shops or anything when you're driving through.
The
No.
pyramid is awesome, Fleek. The pyramid is awesome.
It
Once.
is, man. Yeah, it is, but you're taking your life in your own hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring a gun and a Kevlar and a flak, and you'll be fine. In Memphis.
For sure.
All right, Zach. Well, thanks for hanging out with us for an hour. Stick around for a minute while I hit the end record button. We'll wrap
Sure.
things up. TSP people, thanks for tuning in. It was a great episode today. Even though Andrew's in some dark, I don't know where he's
Sorry,
at.
man. I'm sorry. This is the best I can do. I don't have a backlight in my car.
It looks like
I
you're
tried to
outside
do the
of.
best I could.
Looks like you're outside of Mama San shop.
Hey, hello. That's
All right, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace out.
all right. See you guys. Peace.